don't give a fuck if you're Democrat, Republican. Look at this, $100. Hot dogs, cherries, bananas, some juice, and some eggs. What a joke.
Look at this. They want $1.32 for one nectarine. $1.32 for one nectarine, y'all. I'd be better off walking over here and getting a goddamn orange for 97 friggin' cents. Well, wait, there's more. One apple. Oh, apple is 1.78 a pound. But those are each. Look, lemons, 68 friggin' cents. They didn't went up. They're twice as much as they were. Look, y'all, tomatoes, $1.97. $2 for a tomato. No salsa for you.
Dear MAGA, this is what you did by voting for Donald Trump. You brought the highest beef prices ever in this country. Ever. You did this. Now there's security tags on beef in the grocery stores. You did that. You did it.
I don't give a fuck if you're Democrat, Republican. Look at this, $100. Hot dogs, cherries, bananas, some juice, and some eggs. What a joke.
Look at this. They want $1.32 for one nectarine. $1.32 for one nectarine, y'all. I'd be better off walking over here and getting a goddamn orange for 97 friggin' cents. Well, wait, there's more. One apple. Oh, apple is 1.78 a pound. But those are each. Look, lemons, 68 friggin' cents. They didn't went up. They're twice as much as they were. Look, y'all, tomatoes, $1.97. $2 for a tomato. No salsa for you.
Dear MAGA, this is what you did by voting for Donald Trump. You brought the highest beef prices ever in this country. Ever. You did this. Now there's security tags on beef in the grocery stores. You did that. You did it.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. I want to start by giving all glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. And the brother Mourn for the Tempe, Florida, from the camp prophets in Babylon. Come with another quick hit to the spirit part by YAHAWASHI. Lord, to edify and feed the sheep. The bond said I was an apostle, great mercy, who teach you well. Peace and blessings to the brothers who are pushing this work, and true sincerity to the scattered prod. And I want to go into, this lesson, all right, going into how America is failing, all right, these American people, man, all right, its citizens, all right, it's failing them, man, all right, the local grocery stores, all right, the medication here, all right, the what they call in the pharmacy, here, okay, the benefits from the government is failing, okay, here, the whole list, all right, pretty much everything is here that's been keeping these people afloat, that's keeping them stable, that's keeping them pretty much lazy and being able to sit at home and not do nothing, is starting to crumble, man. All right, and seeing it in this video, you had these people who were complaining about, all right, the fact of the prices of things that has went up since this guy Trump has gotten in the seat. All right, and you can see in the video, you can see that, people said, Trump America, okay, Trump's America says, make poverty great again, make inflation great again, okay, and this is people pretty much speaking out, going into what they're dealing with right now in America, man. All right, here you have it. We're in the year of 2025. All right, surely approaching 2026, and these people are barely making it. Okay, I was watching, I believe it was a video or seen a post, where it was somebody who was having a comparison of what year is years back with $50 worth of $50 worth of groceries would be compared to today's $50 groceries. And just like you see in this video, this guy showed he had $100 worth of groceries, and he got what you would probably get with maybe less than $30 worth. What's showing you that the comparison of today's worth of food has the cost of it has went up, okay, because you have it 10 maybe 15 years ago, people was able to spend $50 and have $100 worth of groceries. But now, all right, you spending $100, all right, worth of grocery money, and you only getting $30 worth. Okay, so over the last 15 to 20 years, the prices of food has tremendously went up, man. Okay, and these people are in the depths of surviving right now off of crumbs, man. You see, and it's only gonna get worse here in America, all right, because this place is losing its power structure, or losing its grip on the masses of the people. Okay, it's losing everything right now. Okay, because right now there's a transitioning taking place, man. Okay, and Esau is getting removed out of that power seat, man. You see. So because this devil is getting removed out of that, he's about to lash out, and he's going to lash out the worst way. And what we're seeing right now is that he's, going for, what's within his own kingdom. You see, so now he's attacking his own home base, all right, with things, and he's been doing this, all right. He's been, having a strategy of, keeping the poor. Okay, the middle class, really just, pretty much taking out the middle class and making it poor and the rich. But he's been making the poor and the rich rich. All right, and that's been that constant seesaw that Esau has been working on over the last years, And knowing that this devil's been doing that, he's been, controlling the way of how food has been, flourishing, man. You see? Now you have it. We're in the year 2025, and you can barely go to the store and get anything that's natural. Okay, get anything that's has nutrients in it, or anything that is replenishing. Okay, as a thirst wise, you can barely get the 100% of benefits from it nowadays, man. Okay, the scriptures goes into it that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and this is what the wicked will be doing. You see. This is Esau, even the so-called white man, ruling the earth. He's ruling in wickedness, man. And it's only going to lead to his wickedness spreading, because this devil, Esau, man, he these Edomites, man, they are the cancer of the earth. Okay? And they're going to continue to destroy, okay, everything that's in their path until they are eliminated themselves. You see? And that's why you see when you have these guys like Donald Trump, man, raising the prices here in America, all right, by causing problems elsewhere, giving it to where now you have these tariff wars, or you can have these tariffs that's been causing here in the prices in here in America to escalate to where now you have to pay for extra things. All right, for the lack of better words, you paying for this and paying for that. Now you gotta double pay for things, and it's already a hard on these American people to barely survive, man. America's through. Okay, this wicked place is through, man. But you have it. I got this article. Okay, going into it. Okay, it says we're gonna grab up scriptures. Just wanted to, touch up on these things, because at the end of the day, this place is on its way out, and everyone that has, wholeheartedly trust in this system, okay, its structure, that's going to go with it, and that's including you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, that's taken this place as and made it a home, a rest, Hey, you're going to be going with it too. Okay? But this is the article. It says Newsweek, and it reads, it says how prices for common groceries have changed since Trump took office. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of this. All right, going into it, says since Donald Trump took office in January, grocery prices at the national level have remained elevated, and in many categories are rising even further. It says federal forecasts and multiple price trackers show continuing inflation for common items such as eggs and beef. And you've seen it in a video, or towards the end you had it with the guy was showing, how the beef, okay, steaks, what it had a security, what was it? They had like a security tag on it, okay? Where it's meaning what is taking place to the point where people are having to label these things, all right, where you can't just walk out with it, okay? It's got a security label on it where it's like, hey, because people are so desperate nowadays, all right, they'll go into these stores and stuff these things within their clothing, some baggage clothing, and walk out the store, all right, put it in a bag. Okay, people have gotten so desperate because they can barely afford the things that's here because the prices are constantly rising. The cost of living, okay, the cost of food, okay, the cost of all these things to even for medication itself, everything is here is completely rising in prices. All right, and we're in the state of seeing these things, at some point of an inflation. But what happens when it turns into hyperinflation, man? Okay, like I mentioned earlier, you got these farmers, okay, where they're losing workers, they're losing out on workers. You had it with, Northern Kingdom, which would be so-called Mexicans. All right, you had Northern Kingdom who were all on these farms, man. I used to work with a guy who, pretty much worked on these farms. I believe it was a potato farm, and he was telling me all the hard, rigorous work that they was doing just to get the crumbs of nothing at the end of the year. You see? But they was working their ass off. They was busting their ass. And now you have it where Esau's being forced to get out there and work himself. Okay? And then you have this guy, Bill Gates, who's trying to buy up all these farmlands. You see, everything is being structured the way Esau wants it. To where now you having to worry about these shelves, all right, within these local grocery stores in Americas and these different states and cities, all right, end up becoming to be scarce, okay, where they're empty. To speak about that, which we'll grab, because no one is out there picking and grabbing these the produce, man. No one's out there laboring for these things. So Esau's biting himself in his own foot right now by deporting all these quote unquote illegal immigrants. Okay, whatever he's doing with these detention centers, it's all gonna reflect on this devil, and ultimately it's because he's ushering in his agenda leading towards the NWO, okay, and towards that micro C-hip, man. Okay, that RFID to the C-hip. That's what it's all conditioning towards, and it has to start with them attacking things like the food, okay, and water, and etc. So what it says, reading it again, it says federal forecasts and multiple price trackers show continuing inflation for common items such as eggs and beef. In the USDA and Commodity Research Service project, like you said, projected overall food prices will increase over the remainder of this year in 2026. So not only this year, but it's predicted to continue to grow and get worse by the year of 2026. So just showing you that nothing's going to get better here, man. You see? Which I'm going to grab this right here, this precept. Okay, going into 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And it reads, verse 21. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And And right now, you know, the prices of food and living here, you know, has been really good. All right, compared to this inflation, it could be a hyperinflation. You know, because you still have it where people are still able to go to these grocery stores and purchase things. Gas is not, has, gotten to a point where it's just unaffordable. Okay. Neither has these foods have gotten to a point where it's just, prices are just ridiculous. People are still moving about, going about their life and still operating, all right, as if everything is normal. But soon, these devils are about to pull a Trump card, man. And they're about to hit you where it hurts. And that's what the scripture says, speaking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American. All right. The scripture says, never trust thy enemy. Okay. And Esau's never to be trusted, man. And this is why you got to know who your enemy is, especially in these times. Okay. Because these devils are about to start coming down with that hammer. They're about to come with it. This devil Esau ain't, Trump, he ain't playing when he was talking about, sending these troops out there, or was playing about when he said he was going to do this 1 million, deportation when he got in office, or neither when he said he was going to write these executive orders off, man. This devil has been standing on that since he got in that office, man. All right, showing you that he's not messing around. So when you get to, putting two and two together, these devils are about to shake things up here, man. Soon these stores about to start running empty on produce, about to run empty on food supply. And these people who are going to constantly go, buy and consume and purchase are about to start to see the harsh effects of what happens when you trust in this wicked place, man. When you trust in Esau Edom, to be exact. Okay, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. It says, reading again, 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And a lot of people think themselves to be in a good case. Okay, even though things are tough, but these people look at it like, see, shit, they had the C-19, all right, and they got through it. We got through it. We can deal with this right now. It's only for however long, Trump's only got this much of, time to be president. We can deal with it. No, man. This devil's about to show his horns. It says, even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what we're seeing. Okay, Esau's coming out with that sword. All right. And we're seeing these things operate and move towards it. It could be famine and great confusion is going to spew out. This is this wicked kingdom in a nutshell, man. That's leading to what individuals are going to start to, rise up and start to revolt in its own system. 2 Ezra chapter 15. And we've seen that with multiple different stages over the years. You see? So reading that again. That was the point. Let me grab this right here. Okay, because the article speaks for itself. It's going to continue in those things, man. It's only going to continue. It's only going to continue to where everything is going to lead down the hill. All right, for you, for you people who trust in this place. It says, 2 Ezra chapter 9. Let me see. I believe it's 2 Ezra chapter 6. God, this is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, and that's what's coming. You right? When you got these people who are not going to work, you're supposed to have it, I believe, September the 16th to September the 20th or 24th. All right, you got these people talking about going on a blackout protest where they're not going to support all right, going to these grocery stores and paying for stuff, all right, not doing all that, and then they tell you on I believe it says black out the system. I did a lesson on it a few days ago, all right, where it said they gonna, you know, go on this major protest for this 4-day strike, all right, where, you know, they're not gonna be doing anything that's required to pretty much be involved in society itself. They ain't gonna take it no more. So they're saying, look, if you gotta go purchase all these things now, go do it now. So you got all these hundreds of thousands of people who done signed up for this, you know, protest that's supposed to take place in September of this month. That's supposed to go be buying all these things up. You know, what does that mean? It's gonna be left with for those who you know are a part of this movement that's supposed to come, man. Those shelves are gonna look a lot more empty, which is gonna cause for things to get worse. You know, you seen during the C-19 where people was you know, getting portions of things. You know, it was where they could give you, it was rations, okay, of what they can give you, things that you can purchase. How much more if things to get real bad here any day now, if all hell was to break loose? These people are going to lose it, man. And that's going to go into the next verse, or the second verse. It says, verse 23, and it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's what's going to happen when they see all hell breaking loose and taking place. Ultimately, this place leading to its destruction with them nukes. Okay, you're going to hear those sirens going off. You're going to hear these. You're going to hear these things alert. Okay, you know, that's going to be happening. And then people are going to be suddenly afraid. How much more before those things happen when it comes to just the you know, inflation of, you know, lack of you know, food. Okay, Truth says that people are gonna you know, have no pity upon their neighbor. Okay, they ain't gonna show no pity upon their neighbor. You know, they're gonna come through taking and spoiling their goods, taking everything for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see? So people ain't gonna be showing no remorse. They ain't gonna be showing no empathy, sympathy. They ain't gonna do that, man. It's gonna be get how you live out here. Let this food continue to go up in prices, all right, and be less to hit these shelves. These people are going to flip shit, man. All right, they're gonna flip it, and it says they're gonna flip switch. It says 2 Ezra chapter 6, reading it again, verse 23. For the trumpet shall, it says for so like it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And this is going to take place because what? There ain't going to be no food. You know, it's going to be all hell breaking loose, and it's going to be no type of water supply, all right, flowing for that, for those major, you know, events that's taking place. People ain't gonna be able to wash their hands. You don't be able to do these certain things they do now. You see, water is gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be easy access like these people have it right now. These people, these American people, man, they have it good. You got AC, all right. You got running water. You got a refrigerator. You know, just comfortableness is all around this place. So when all hell breaks loose, no one's going to know what the exactly reaction is going to be. they're not going to know what to do. You see? And these people are going to turn against one another and start to attack one another. And it's just going to be all hell breaking loose. Chaos brewing throughout the streets for these lack of things. Okay? But let's grab this right here. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, people right now are mourning. Okay, for you to go to a grocery store in Walmart and you see prices, okay, continually growing up and up and up. All right, and you can barely pay your rent, pay your mortgage, pay your car insurance. Okay, barely making any funds at your job, maybe losing hours at your job when you can barely survive. All right, they're gonna put this. That's gonna put you in the state of mourning. All right, that's gonna have it where you're gonna have no choice but to be looking miserable in the face. Okay, depressed. That's why you got a lot of these American people on all sorts of drugs. You know, having a lot of these people are starting to have videos, all right, come out of them, you know, pretty much speaking on how they feel about what they're going through, their life struggle, how they ain't able to afford, you know, living here. You got some people leaving and just moving to a different country. You know, you just got people who are you know, completely sick and tired of what's taking place here. But that's not going to stop these devils from continuing in wickedness, man. That's what the scripture says. When the wicked bear rule, this is how you know who the wicked is. The scripture said they are the border of wickedness, based off the way how they rule, man. All right, when the righteous are in authority, the people are going to rejoice. And that's when that transition of power is going to come in, man. Once this place is utterly destroyed and righteousness is, you know, established, all right, and put in order the right way, people are going to go through the process they got to go through, okay? They're going to have to go through that, they're going to have to catch that hell like we did. But after that, you know, they're going to be good, man. After that period of time, they're going to be good after that, man. They're going to rejoice. They're going to be glad and happy, okay, that we're back on top. All right, the Israelites, they're back on top. Yay! They're going to be rejoicing, man. But right now, Jake is in the slums, in the ghettos, in the hood, in the traps, okay, in the projects, all sprung up and done up, man. All right? Off of drugs, through. Keisha, she popping ass everywhere. Okay, Tyrone, he just the number one niglet. YN's running wild, rampant. You know, this is all what's taking place in a wicked place. All right, that's being ran by a wicked rule, man, a ruler, a cruel one at that. And look who's in the seat right now, Trump. You see, it's only going to lead to where things is going to get harder and harder here. You see, but I'm gonna grab this last precept right here. All right, then I'm gonna close it out with this. Lord, when this lesson is edifying, all right. But this is First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3, and it reads. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Right? Okay, and that's exactly what's going to come to this place. All right, it's going to be a thing where it ain't going to be no escaping from when all these things start to come and hit this place known as America. All right, simultaneously, man. The Lord says He's going to bring great death and destruction, famine, pestilence, earthquakes, the whole nine, man. You know, it's all throughout the scriptures, man. This is all part of prophecy of things going to take place, showing that, hey, we at the end of this shit, man. All right, and knowing you had this guy Trump when he got into the seat. All right, when he first got into the seat, you know, he was coming in as, you You know, he wanted to be a peacemaker. He wanted everything to be, all right, at peace. Now look what he's doing. You know, look like peace, you know, that he was talking about before. You know, what happened to all that peace talk? What happened to that being a peacemaker? Now he just made it the Department of Defense, all right, to Department of War, man. So this guy is on a whole nother mode of what he really had intentions to, you know, coming into this, you know, president seat, you know, with, man. You know, he had a whole different motive, you know, and Esau's known to be the deceiver. It said, reading that again, 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, which is, this is what these devils love to tell you, but in reality it says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And that's what's happening, man. Okay, now his devil has made a Department of Defense, a Department of War, and now he's coming for those who are so-called in homegrown criminals. And look where he's stationed at. Look at where he's popping up in these different major cities. Look where he's going. Okay, this ain't a coincidence, man. This ain't you know, a Blue's Clues, man. You know, this is being made, you know, known right before your eyes. Okay, but continuing, it says, as, let me see, it says, as travail, no, slack, reading up a little bit, it says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay, and this is just a part of his, you know, way of taking over. All right, where he's attacking the food supply. Okay, he's attacking the way of things coming in, being shipped in and shipped out. Okay, he's attacking everything. All right, these devils are very crafty in their plots and plans. So, you know, food not being the price, you know, is, you know, 10 years ago today is your least of your worries, man. Esau's about to come for the whole 9. He want the whole pie. You see? And he's only just getting started. So, you know, with that, I'm going to close it out. Lord, when this lesson was edifying to you, I came out to seeking all the truth and sincerity. Once again, double honor said I was an apostle of MILLSTONE, teaching well. Until next time I say, Shalom.